Hey everybody, welcome back. So over the last couple of videos, I've been taking a closer look at this Henry big boy steel carbine 16.5-inch barrel. What I wanted to do here today, just got a couple of minutes before work, is give you a closer look at the action on this one and compare it to my Marlin 1894. Now this one's in 44 Magnum, that one's in 45 Colt. Maybe not entirely fair comparison, but pretty similar dimensions on the cartridges, weights as well. So let's reposition the camera a little bit, take a closer look, and I'll show you a couple interesting things here. So there's a little bit of a close-up of the two rifles we're talking about. The top one here, of course, is the Henry big boy in 44, and the bottom one here is the Marlin 1894 in 45 Colt. So first thing I wanted to do is just give you a shot of the edge of the lever, and you'll notice this shape here and how that kind of has got a little bit of a hook on it. And that's the Marlin, and there's the Henry. Pretty darn similar as far as the shape of those levers. Now since I got the Henry here, let's try and take a look at the inner workings of that lifter. And both of these rifles need to be held vertically in order for that to work. But you'll notice as the lever comes backwards, or we're closing the lever, that cartridge lifter comes up in here first, and then the bolt closes. Just show you the Marlin. Same deal with that. So when you bring the lever back, that cartridge lifter is raising one up from the tube below and lining that up with the chamber. Now of course the Marlin has a completely open side section to it here, so the bolt is one piece, and when it closes, it completely closes the side of the receiver. The Henry, you've got this window, this is solid here, and when the bolt comes forward, you still have an opening here. So from the perspective of keeping the dust out, I would say the Marlin's a little bit better. Henry's always got some type of an opening here, but from the standpoint of a more solid receiver, a little bit more steel to it, I would say the Henry being completely enclosed there on all sides gets a point for, I'm thinking, rigidity and strength. So let's just take a look at how both of these rifles single feed. And I was having a discussion down in the comments of the previous video, and for me up here in Canada, because we're not allowed to legally carry a loaded firearm inside a vehicle, sometimes this can be kind of important. Now this type of rifle I'm going to be carrying and be walking up into the mountains, so not quite as critical. So, but the question remains, how fast can you get a single cartridge into the rifle and get a shot off? So with a lot of the bolt guns that I've got, of course, you can just drop a round right into the top. Not quite so easy with a lever action, whether it's the Henry or the Marlin. The Winchester 1892 I love for this aspect. You can just basically drop a round right in the top of the 92 and pull the lever back, and that round chambers without any trouble. But what about these two rifles? The rifle level, drop one in the side. But you'll see what kind of happens is the back end, the head here gets hung up a little bit, and if you're not careful, it can get jammed up a little bit. So overall, not too big of an issue, but single feeding this one does work. You got to be a little bit careful. It actually works a little bit better with the follower or the lifter just in a slightly elevated position. Let's take a look at the Henry 44 Magnum once again. Let's move the Marlin down a little bit here. So once again, try and hold this as vertical or level as possible. Let's drop one in there. Same kind of thing is happening. The bullet kind of drops down, or the nose drops down a little bit. But when we bring the lever back, that lifter brings it up and holds it quite nicely, and no issues chambering. Let's pop that one out of there. It extracts the same way as the Marlin did. swapping hands left and right here. Let's just throw another one in, see what happens. A little bit more quickly this time. There we go. Bring the lever back in chambers without any trouble. So the other thing I brought with me here today is some HSM bear loads. You've seen me function and fire these in some of my rifles before. For the 44 Magnum, these are 305 grain, lead, wide, flat nose, solid hard cast with the gas check, packing some serious punch here. Now, the different HSM ammunition that I've tried in my 357, 45 Colt, now 44 Magnum has functioned with, let's just say, mixed results. These bullets are just so big and heavy that they don't always feed well, and I don't know if you can see that, but big, wide, flat nose on there, as the description says. Doing here, let's feed just a couple of these in, and you know what? Right off the bat, too long to go. Oh, there we go. Just made it in to that loading port there. I guess you got to have them just lined up perfectly. So let's put some of those. This one not quite going. I guess must be just a little bit longer overall length, but in any case, we can always drop them down the end of the tube. We've got our tube out there. So let's go ahead and feed some of those. That one, there we go. Just have to align it just right. So something to be aware of if you're out in the bush and need to get those in there quickly. Look at these things. See how they feed there. I'm hoping, there you go. Yeah, I think you can see that coming up. And you know what? First one chambered without any trouble. So let's just dump these onto the tailgate here. And there we go. So HSM bear load in the Henry. Loads without any problem. Let's go ahead and fire a couple of those just for fun and see what kind of punch they pack, and maybe set up a little bit of an obstacle course for this rifle here. Okay, so I got some of those HSM bear loads, 305 grain hard cast lead into the tube of my Henry 44, and over my shoulder you can see what I'm going to be shooting at today. Got some cinder blocks, a piece of lumber in front of there. And I'm going to go back about, I don't know, 20 feet or so. We'll kind of judge a safe distance when I get there. And put at least one round. We'll see if there's anything still standing. If there is, we'll go a couple of rounds and see how many of those blocks we can get through. So there we go, completely disintegrated the first block. I took a shot when the second one was exposed there, and we got a bit of a hole through there, but it didn't go all the way through, an indentation in the backside. So either that bullet completely disintegrated or went off in a different direction. So I don't know how useful that information is, but sometimes it's just kind of fun to blow things up. Anyway, thanks for watching. Henry Big Boy 44 Magnum. Lots of fun. If you guys do buy one of these, I'm sure it's going to work out well for you. So that's it for this one. Until next time, take it easy.